The idea of lying fallow, the tree priestess of the Cailleach, is really onto something, I think. Now, the truth of the matter is, I actually spend a lot of time lying fallow, but not in a beneficial way because I am entirely racked by guilt for doing so. Lying fallow. To give oneself permission to recover from the vicissitudes of glorious life, which can be onerous if we are honest. Yes. So, instead of usefully lying fallow, I am accustomed to wasting time. So, while busily doing nothing at all, I am torturing myself with all of the things that I should be doing, but am not. Now, I occasionally, when my daughter does nothing after an evening of, after a day of listening to the worst human troubles people can have, she comes home and decides to eat candy and watch TV. She berates herself mercilessly for this, and I very wisely tell her, well, if you've decided to indulge yourself with candy and TV, then commit to that. Do that. If that's what you're going to do, then don't waste a perfectly good self-indulgence by flagellating yourself for not doing something more productive. Well, as you can tell, we were both raised in a pretty staunchly Protestant work ethic sort of environment. And one of the rare things that I have been praised for in my existence has been my ability to work like a horse. Oh, I love those beautiful. This time of year I call this the time of blue flowers and Queen Anne's lace. I call them blue flowers because they're chicory or cornflowers, but they are just the blue flowers. I've loved them since childhood. Anyway, the ability to work hard is great. It is wonderful, and it has a good hygienic ethos in that if you are going to do something, do it well. And I don't want to take anything away from the value of that. I love that little island. I hope it survives the vicissitudes of life. And as I'm trespassing on my neighbor's property, not the Sicilian developer's property. That's his house over there. But he doesn't live there. Nobody lives there. His widow, he died, I think I mentioned before. We'll probably sell it, and God knows what'll happen then. But anyhow, for the time being, we wander over here pretty frequently. Saw a great blue heron here one time. The permission, to give oneself permission to lie fallow, and maybe for more than the occasional evening or afternoon, and to not abuse oneself for making such a choice. I mean, Maybe there's 1,000 things that need to be done that only you can do, but do you need to do them right this minute? Do you really? That is the question. As the priestess of the Kalayak points out, sometimes you do. Sometimes there are things that only you can do and need to be done right this minute. So, okay, well, go ahead and do them then and get them out of the way, with the understanding that afterwards you are going to take some much needed rest, and that it isn't, I was going to say that you are going to, that after you do what cannot be put off, that you should indulge yourself and take that rest. But I think this is Joe Pye weed, not milkweed. I thought it was milkweed. We shall see. If it gets great big pods, then it's milkweed. But I think this is Joe Pye weed. I've tried to grow it in the garden without a whole lot of success. It's so lovely when it grows wild. So, yeah, to commit to a fallow season, that was pretty revelatory. I do believe that I actually have a fallow season, which is the winter, which no matter how much I flagellate myself with shame and guilt, I still just cannot get things done sometimes in the winter because I am flat out too tired. So why not just give myself permission to be tired, to have that fallow period? What's stopping me? Just myself. Just myself. There are no Protestant work ethic police who are going to come along and damn me for all eternity for my laziness. It's funny how your feelings can be at such odds with your intellectual stances, because I have many, many times defended laziness. It isn't the lazy people in the world who cause all the trouble. Far from it. But when it comes to being lazy myself, I bulk a bit. Even though, as I've said, I actually am very lazy much of the time. Non-productively, self-harming kinds of laziness. So, but laziness does not have to be self-harming. See, I gotta stop calling it laziness, don't I? Because maybe it isn't laziness. Maybe it is just a legitimate need for a fallow rest. Even in the summer, which is my active time for sure. Definitely my fallow season would be winter, but doesn't mean that oops, I've gone back. You can just see a little corner of the island from here. But no water lilies this year for some reason. The leaves are kind of struggling up, maybe too shallow. It's been kind of hot. It's my little boo-boo-boo. There's my little boo-boo-boo. And there's Nadia. I don't know if you can see her in the shadow. So, I live up here in the forest, all alone, for the most part. And I like that very much. I am free to do pretty much whatever I choose that doesn't require very much money. And I do have some money, but not very much. And so, what do I choose to do? I choose to watch endless videos on the computer. Oh, look at you, beautiful. I don't know if you can see that. Some kind of falcon. And relentlessly purchase tarot cards right now, which is a replacement for dolls, and I want to give up collecting dolls because they're expensive. I think tarot cards can be expensive too, but not only are the dolls expensive, but I already have a great many of them, and it's my poor daughter who's going to have to deal with them. Look at the reflections. I really love swamps. I don't know what that says about me psychologically, but when we went to the United States to pick up artwork, we saw beautiful swamps in Florida. I wanted to go to the Great Dismal Swamp in Carolina, but we didn't have time. And we did go to the very famous Okefenokee Swamp and Kissimmee National Forest, National Park. And yes, I'd like to do a world tour of swamps one day. But like most things, I'm probably happier dreaming about that than actually doing it. Saw alligators, got to hold a baby alligator. So I have to work on feeling that it is okay to have a fallow rest, that it's beneficial, and to work on those voices, those torturing voices. Or these little birds. I'm not going to get too close. I wanted to, there's yellow flowers in there, but I'm not going to disturb those little birds. Alrighty. Okay. I'm not going to say a word about this hated vista. I'm going to prolong my walk a little bit. I could walk directly that way, past my neighbor's house. But I'm going to go back. I'll go back up this way to where the Tonka Man toys are. And continue thinking about fallow rest. So, amidst the much pointless viewing of videos on YouTube, there are often, very often, really substantial ones that do me a lot of good. The Tree Whisperer Oracle Priestess of the Kaliak being a good example. Ariel Gitoga being another very good example. Oh, there's so many. So many. Lon Milo Duquette, whose talks on esotericism I really, really enjoy. So I've started to just get bored of TarotTube, mercifully, since I have decided that I've now got enough decks. I'm going to do a tarot tag, perhaps. Anyhow, rambling on and on. The fallow rest period. So I was a little curious about the priestess making lengthy videos, but she wasn't quite ready for her fallow rest, so that explains that. But I feel a real compulsion to make videos that kind of puzzles me, because in actual fact I have as little to do with other people as I can really manage. I'm probably a little bit misanthropic, but not in any malicious, malevolent way, or only occasionally. I do have malicious, malevolent ideas sometimes about my neighbor when I contemplate this, as opposed to that. But we weren't going to dwell on that. And I become more and more reluctant to have anything to do with people, and that's a little bit worrying. And when I was collecting dolls, I did participate in the doll collecting community and enjoyed that very, very much. So I've kind of ditched that in order to not be collecting dolls. Although I have maintained a few contacts that were a little more personal than just, exchanging pictures on. That was mostly Facebook that went on. And yeah, I find social media very beneficial for people with really hardcore reclusive tendencies. Perhaps social media is what keeps us from actually, from the isolation, pushing us over the edge of sanity, which could happen, which does happen. So my daughter is consistent in encouraging me not to isolate too far. So making videos for YouTube is a curious sort of compromise, I guess, where I'm speaking to other people who are not threateningly present, who may not really even be there. I might just be talking to myself, essentially. But I am talking, so that's something. And is that important? It feels like it is. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm just... I have occasionally seen therapists for depression and anxiety, the usual run-of-the-mill things of modern life, although there is some, some pretty serious childhood trauma, I guess, that we will definitely not be talking about. But I had many therapists. I liked very few of them and would speak to even less, but I did have one that really did help me. And he felt that probably I should have become a religious person, like a nun or some sort of enclosed person, which startled me at the time. I was in university at the time, and I was a pretty good student. I laugh. I have friends who really scorn higher education, which always kind of startles me in a way. So I was taught to value it very highly, and I was good at it. But I have to confess that my friends who do not value higher education, by and large, have done pretty well in life, whereas, it could be argued that I may not have done all that well in life. I could have done worse for sure. But, yes, that school is easy, life is hard. But to get back to the living a cloistered existence, I definitely have a predisposition for living apart from society. I'm happiest, I feel most normal, whatever that may be. But I don't actually... I like all religions. I've studied as many as I can find, and even some, like, Mandeans and who are the last original Gnostics. Well, there's the other one. Oh, their name escapes me just at the moment. Yazidi. So there's only so much you'll find out quite a bit about Mandeans now. But Yazidi are still pretty secretive. Anyhow, I'm especially fond of Gnostics. Anyway, and Buddhists, all religions really. But despite that, despite being attracted by religion, I really have never felt the desire to belong to anything. I did join the Wiccan Church of Canada when I was a teenager for a brief time, and I really liked the rituals. But at that time, I don't know if it's the same anymore, there was, you were strongly encouraged to join something else called the Society for Creative Anachronism. And I thought those people were pretty cool too. They basically, it's like a vast role-playing pre-computer game where you design for yourself a medieval character like a wizard or a knight or a princess or what have you. And then you go all out with the accoutrement and, get garments and talismans. And, well, it's very, very cool. And I really like the people that did it. But again, at that time, I certainly didn't have the means for the expenditure that would require. And I didn't have the inclination either. You would think that being the fanciful kind of person I am, I'd have been a natural for things like Dungeons and Dragons, but I really am not. I just can't, I can immerse myself in imaginative worlds when I'm by myself, but not in groups. In groups, I just feel foolish. So, god damn deer flies. So, fallow rest. Unorganized, intentional, fallow rest as we come to the end of our path here. And I have to plunge back into the forest. I have to get off. I have to carry Boo because of the burrs. So I shall get off the phone. Oh, the deer flies are just murderous this morning. Anyway, something to think about. And I have spoken to other people for the day. Goodbye.